Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to wait for the for the Zoom class, so I'm going to put you towards the wall just for a few seconds.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Hi, Sarla. You look beautiful.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, good morning, everybody. Erev Shabbos again. It's Thursday morning again. I don't know how it comes so quickly, but we live in hope of Mashiach coming quicker than next Thursday, Be'ezrat Hashem. And I guess we're all just sitting and waiting, and we've got to just be grateful that we have all the things that we can do while we're waiting, not just sitting and waiting, but being proactive and doing all that we need to. So thank you, Rebbetzin Silva, for being with us, continuing. My daughter sent me a message this morning asking if we've done Eric 127 with Rebbetzin Silva, and I was like, really? So I went downstairs, got my Tehillim out, and I said, yes, we have. And I went over some of the things that I'm waiting. And then
Why does she want that? Why does she want that parak?
Well, I don't know. I asked her and I haven't heard yet. So I for her response, but I asked Anita, could you find the recording, please, for 127? And guess what? I sent her your recording of 127, and then I'll find out. I asked her why she wants it.
Yeah,
But
you sure
wondering,
was.
because that's the schus, hopefully your schus, well, my ticket to having our children. And Ezra Hashem, is that not it?
It's interesting that she wants 127. I'm not sure. I asked her why, because it's talking about the building of the base of Mikdash. So
Okay.
I'm interested to know why she wanted that one.
Okay, let me tell
maybe
you.
she meant 126.
Why?
And maybe she went 137. 127 is not such a popular one. I mean, I love it, but I don't know.
It was maybe because Esther reigns over 127 provinces.
That's 100. Okay,
Was
that could be.
And then Sarah lived to 127 also.
That's
It's
interesting.
the Kabbalistic number, yeah, for Purim.
That's cute for Purim.
It's Hashem's sovereignty, yeah.
Very nice. Somebody
No,
said,
I was looking at more about our children sort of being our hope and our tikkun, no?
That's also true. That's talking about the children. Okay, let's see what she wants, and let's see what Hashem wants. Me'ev Esrim Sheva, right? 107. Sheva Esrim Me'ev Medina, right? 127. They say it's an interesting thing because the first pasuk in Megillas Esther, Hodu v'ad Kush. Hodu is India and Kush is Ethiopia. And right now, the Indian president is here, and the president of Israel is in Ethiopia.
Insane.
How interesting!
I literally posted that yesterday. Literally, I was also thinking that.
Yeah.
I got stuck in the on the cord. We got cordoned off. We couldn't go past the King David's hotel. You had to sit there for hours, like waiting for them to get home.
Yes, it's very
they
hard.
They have a big meal at the King David. There you go.
It's hard traffic now. It's hard traffic now in Yerushalayim because there's so many things going on. There's still construction. There's demonstrations. This guy, the president of India, is here. So, like, if you have to walk, if you have to go someplace, use your feet. Also, it turned back into winter today. As you see, I'm wearing my furry warm jacket. And as Rebbe Sindam said, we're just waiting to see what's going to be. They're not going to start the war today because the president of India and his whole entourage is still here. And today they're officially negotiating in wherever, in Geneva. And the whole thing is one big joke anyway. So let's see. It's interesting to see how many jokes and how long they can think. They think that people can just pay attention and not pay attention. Somebody sent me a video. This was like a shocking video. It's about 8 different speeches from Netanyahu, going back as far as year 2000. It's about 8 different speeches that he made, and in each speech he says, going from the year 2000, I think it's actually 1999. In each speech he says, Iran is within 5 years of making a nuclear bomb. Iran's in 5 years, right? Like, it's all lies, because unless they have a regular nuclear bomb already. But he's been saying that for 20 years already, 26 years, 27 years. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke to try to make people feel insecure and feel interested in reading the news and to take their minds off of other things. Whenever there's something going on in the news, you have to know this, to take your mind off of something else that's going on. And that thing that's going on, we don't know. We know that David Melech in the end, David Melech wrote us a book of Tehillim. Let's see what we do know. We do know that Hashem is in charge. Only Hashem is in charge. And we do know that Hashem is the one who is He's the one who's making the hearts of kings. That's what we do know. We do know that He's the one who's making all these decisions. And we focus on that. Eile v'barecha ve'eile b'susim. Right? We say this in Tehillim, Perek Chaf. They come, the rest of the world comes with arms, with bombs, and with horses, and with airplanes, and with ships. What do we come? We come with our prayers. Hey, Makarov and Afalu, they're going to fall down and be destroyed. And we get up. So that's how the Jewish people are. And remember that we're not praying for the government, we're praying for the Jews. If there's anybody in the government that's Jewish, okay, they can come into our prayers. I'm talking about the Israeli government. Sorry if that offended anybody. Okay, so as we see every single time we learn Tehillim, we see the current events in the Tehillim. So we're in Parak Yud, right? We're in Parak 10, chapter 10, Parak Yud. And we talked about that chapter 9 and chapter 10 are one long chapter according to the Gemara. And it's talking about the, the rise of evil and the fall of evil. And the sustaining of evil and then the destruction of evil. When I say evil, I mean evil people, evil plans. I heard some lady yesterday from Nigeria. Nigeria is one of these countries that no one pays attention to, except for the Nigerians. And it turns out that in Nigeria, they're making an experiment. They're trying to digitalize the whole country. No money, no cash, no anything. Everything is stamped in you, stamped on you. So someone, thank you, who said that? Who's Creative Chat? Creative Chai. She sent me a note that Ele Barechav, the Ele Basusim, V'anachnu Hashem Hashem Elokeinu Nazkir is a pasuk for Esther's name. Starts with an aleph, ends with a reish. There you go. That's how Hashem talks to us and tells us that we're on the right track. And we see that the holiday and the hashkafa, it all comes together. So here, look, I'm preparing this class this morning, and I'm saying like, wow, look at this. Here we are talking about everything that's going on here in Israel. If anybody here thinks, and I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm about to. If anybody here thinks that they know what's going on by reading the news, sorry to disappoint you, but none of that is true. What's going on in Shamayim, there's whatever's going on in Shamayim filters down here. The real battle is in Shamayim. And the real battle is what the tzaddikim are doing now. And how they're, and the angels, the angel Michael, the archangel of the Jewish people. Everson Dove, can you please mute everybody? And that's really what's going on here. Is what's going on in Shamayim. And we are getting ready for Purim, getting ready for Shabbos and Purim. And Bezrat Hashem. One of my students said, it'll be such a sad thing if the war happens on Purim, because then all the kids are going to be disappointed that they can't go out in their costumes. So let's hope that maybe it'll be over by Purim. Let's hope. We don't know what to even hope. The tzaddikim are of two minds. Some tzaddikim want the whole thing to start already. Some tzaddikim want to abolish the war bichlal. They don't want to have a war. Al meni eitz rasha Elokim. We're in Pasuk Yud Gimel, Parak Yud, chapter 10, verse 13. Al meni eitz rasha Elokim. Why is it that you let the wicked people ni'etz? Ni'etz means to mock you, to make fun of you, to minimize you. Why do you let the evil people in the world? Thank you. Hi, Elaine. Thank you so much for that beautiful. Is that because that's your pasuk? Your name is Esther. Good, cool. Why is it that, so pasuk says, David Melech is asking Hashem, why is it that you let the wicked people not just persevere and not just succeed, but mock you, make a joke of you? The latest, and again, I don't believe any of these. I don't believe any of these things are true. Meaning, what I'm about to tell you, the pasuk, of course, is true. But what I'm about to tell you, but there was such a mockery of the Jewish people made today by the Iranians, and I'll explain to you why. You know that Iran is a theocracy. That means the government is run by the religion. The official head of the most powerful person is Khamenei, and he's their head, priest. He's their head, whatever you call him. Imam, I don't know what they call. I don't know all the levels of the different priests by the Muslims, but he's the one who runs the show. That was what happened when they kicked out the royalty, the Shah, which, by the way, I don't know that I don't know that the Iranians liked him so much either, because there was a lot of wasting money and a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of if you were in the higher level, then you got all the. If you were a member of the aristocracy, if you were in the in crowd in Iran, I know because I have many Iranians who told me this. In the times of the Shah, it happens to be that the Jewish people were the in crowd then. The Jews in Iran had a very good life. But the regular Iranians, they were very annoyed because of all the money spending and all of the different, lack of, I don't know, however you say, when the government was corrupt, so they threw over the Shah, and then who took over? And the other extreme were the extreme Muslims, the extreme religious ones. But they said today, like this is what they said. They said that the Ayatollah Khamenei, he paskins, he ruled. Now, okay, I don't believe that this is true, but this is what they're saying. This is how they speak. He said they paskin, they ruled, according to their halacha, their law, that Iran is not allowed to have nuclear weapons to blow up the world. That's what they said. They said they believe that that's what he ruled halachically, according to Muslim law, and therefore America has nothing to worry about because they're a country that's ruled and run by their Muslim law, and the Muslim law, according to the interpretation of Ayatollah Khamenei, is it's forbidden to have nuclear weapons. That's what they're telling Jared Kushner. It's like a slap in the face to say Israel doesn't care about Jewish law. Israel is just sending secularists to negotiate, and Iran is talking about their law, their religious law. So in Shemayim, it's a big criticism of the Jewish state and of the Jewish people. So how do I respond to that? We need Mashiach already. That's all. We need the tzaddikim to run this country. And note that when the tzaddikim will run this country, everything will be kosher and honest and full of integrity. No one's going to make anybody observant. There's not going to be a tznius patrol, and there's not going to be a kosher patrol. When the real tzaddikim run the country, either everyone will do tshuva because they'll just see the tzaddikim and what the tzaddik is, and they'll want to be close to Hashem, or not. So here's David Melch saying, why are you letting the wicked people make a mockery of you, Hashem? Amar bilibo, because they're saying to themselves, the wicked people are saying to themselves, Lo tidrosh. Hashem is not going to seek revenge. Hashem is not going to ask. Hashem is not going to punish us. That's what the wicked people think, if they think at all. I don't think wicked people think about God. They're too busy being wicked. They're too busy doing all the things that wicked people do. But if they did think for 1 second, they would say, I don't know, they would, whatever the wicked people would say, they would either make fun of the concept of God, because they would say, look, Rockefeller, look, the Vatican, look, the royal family of British, look, all that stuff, look how successful and rich they are. So God clearly thinks that's a good idea. That's the mockery of God. So we ask, Alma, why, Hashem, do you let them mock you? And do you let them say, I can get away with anything? That's the question that every single person on planet Earth asks. How could you let the people who were the doctors get away, or the head of all of the pharmaceuticals get away with trying to poison planet Earth? How could you let them get away with miseducating children? I don't know. I haven't followed what went on in the UK. Remember last year already when they were trying to force in the UK, education that you had to teach children from a young age about genders and about you could be whatever you want. Whatever happened to that in the yeshivas? The whole thing seems to have blown over because we don't hear about it anymore. But what is that? Regular people are saying, how come it is that people in control can do such outrageous things and think that nothing's going to happen to them? Ra'ita, and you see this, Hashem. Ra'ita, you see all of this. It's not like I'm telling you a chiddush. Hi, Sarah's little one. She's so cute. Is that a he or a she? I just see a part of her. Oh, now I see a kippah, a yarmulke. Wow. Hello. Sorry, you just put a little kid on the screen and then I get all, hi. Anyway. Ra'ita, you see all of this, Hashem. You see everything. You see, I'm telling you, David Melch is saying, I'm telling you in my hisbodedus, I'm telling you in my talking to you, Hashem, that the evil people in the world are laughing at you. And you know that. You see that. And I'm telling you, Hashem, in my hisbodedus, that the evil people in the world are saying we can get away with anything, right? Or they're not thinking. Or they're, here we think about Hashem every second. Every second the Jew is thinking about God. What does God want from me now? Am I supposed to make a bracha right now? Am I supposed to daven right now? Am I supposed to make a blessing? Am I supposed to pray? Am I supposed to give charity? I have to now get ready for Shabbat. Like, Jews are thinking about God all day long. But the evil people in the world are not. Or they're thinking about him saying we can get away with anything. So, Ra'ita, you see all of this, Hashem. And not just that. You're paying attention to the fact that they're working very hard at doing all kinds of evil things. You're seeing it, your tabit. Ra'ita is to see, and tabit means to focus on. You see them, Hashem. You see what the people are doing. Latet biyadecha, and you let them. That's the crazy part, is you let them. Why do you let them? Why do you let evil proliferate? Why? You give your power to them. Latet biyadecha, your own hands, you give them life force. Why do you do that, Hashem? That's the question that every single person on planet Earth who is good asks. And all the people who are bad laugh. And we say, Hashem, why are you letting that happen? Nevertheless, I'm still going to hold on to you. Now, this is a very important teaching. Let me just finish the next words and we'll go back. Alecha, where am I? Alecha yazov, sorry, Alecha yazov chelecha. You should know something. I'm going to rely on you, Hashem, nevertheless. Because you have helped the Yitomim. You've helped the helpless people. David Melch is telling us a very important lesson here. He says, I'm allowed to ask Hashem questions. Why are you making this? Like, how does Iran have the nerve, dafka now, in the season of Purim, how do they have the nerve to keep threatening to blow up the state of Israel? Iran went to the UN and they said that they want to blow up the state of Israel. How do they have the nerve to do that? And how are they not afraid of America stepping in? So I'm asking Hashem all these questions, all these question marks. Why do you let the bad people, now you see all these Epstein files that are coming out? Nebuch. I had a thought that it was such an interesting thought. It's a sad but interesting thought. And that is, all the corruption of the world is being exposed now through these Epstein files. I didn't read any of these Epstein files. I don't know who's in it. But I just know whenever they find a new name, because it's, I think, 3 million documents you have to go through, whatever. But we're seeing many, many people already got fired from their jobs. I'm talking about big people. The grocer down the street, he's not in the Epstein files because he was not big enough for that Mr. Epstein to bother with him. Who did that Epstein bother with? All the rich people, the government people. It's a pity we didn't see the Pope in that Epstein files. That would have been something. But and all the priests in that Epstein files. I think that they must have used other names, but they were there also. So what's happening? All the immorality and the corruption and the dishonesty and the manipulation. It's all coming out. It's like nausea. It's like nauseum. It's coming out like when people throw up, when a person eats something that's not good and they vomit, and how nauseating that is. That's what's happening now. But look at what it is. It was precipitated by a Jew. Okay, you might say that's a chilul Hashem, and it is. But on the other hand, it's ironic that a Jew was the one, with all of the mistakes that he made and all the terrible things that he's probably going through wherever he is in the world of souls, it was a Jew who began to unravel the whole government. So your government in the UK is falling apart, and the whatever, whoever has been affected by that. It's interesting that it happened through a Jew. It has to happen through Jews. Now Nebuch, it happened through a Jew who did bad things. I think she's also a Jew, that lady. It happened through them doing bad things, terrible things. But the result of those terrible things that they did, all the corruption and the immorality in the world is being revealed. So what is it here? What do we have here? Right? So you see everything, Hashem. You see everything. Kiata, and you, amal v'chas tabit, you're paying attention, you're observing all the mischief and all the anger and all the fury and all the lying and all the you're watching that, you're paying attention, Hashem. And you're letting them do it. You're giving them you're not just tolerating it, you're giving them the power to do it. Nevertheless, alecha yazov chelecha. Nevertheless, on you, all the people who have no hope are relying. Even though it looks like you're helping the Rishayim, we're all relying on you. Here we're called Yetomim. Yetomim is orphans. We're in an orphan state, and yet you're helping us. So that's the lesson. The lesson is you're allowed to have all these questions, and you're allowed to verbalize these questions, as long as the bottom line is, I'm still with you, Hashem. Ani ma'amin. I can ask questions because I'm curious and I don't understand, and I have to satisfy that part of me that needs to understand. And whether I'll understand or not is up to you, Hashem. But I'm not letting go of you, even though I don't understand you. I'm holding on to you, even though I don't understand the way you behave in this world, even though I don't understand why the good people are suffering, the bad people are, succeeding. I don't understand it. And I'm asking you to explain that. And I know that you will explain it when Mashiach comes. Nevertheless, I'm not letting go of you. That has to be our bottom line. We don't let go of Hashem. And now therefore, because I said that, because I made my statement that I'm not letting go of you, therefore I'm going to pray down to you. Shavar Zeroa Rasha Vara. What does it mean? Break the hand of the evil people and of evil itself. Destroy evil. Break the hand. In olden days, what did they used to fight with? Spears and arrows and knives and the hands. They needed their hands to fight. So break their hands. We're asking Hashem. Break their strength. Break their weapons. Destroy them. That's what we're asking Hashem. Break them. Not that I should be nishbar. I don't want to be broken. I'm not going to be broken. I want you to break them. I want you to break their weapons, break their power, break the bad nations and the bad people. And listen to this. Tidrosh Risho Bal Timsa. And the wicked people of the Jewish people, this is what the Malbim says, the wicked people of the Jewish people, you won't find them anymore. The wickedness, not the wicked people, the wickedness of the Jewish people, you won't find anymore. Why is that? The Malbim explains. First of all, there's comparisons. If you compare the behavior of Jews, what's your biggest sin that you ever did? Don't tell me, but think about it. What's the biggest sin we ever did? Did you say Lashon Hara? When you were a kid, you did stupid things. What are the worst things that we do? But what are the worst things that the evil people of the world do? So when you compare the evil of the world to the worst Jew, you see that the worst Jew, His evil is not evil. Comparison. That's number one. Number two, the Malbim says like this. He says that when Mashiach comes, everyone's going to do tshuva. When you finally break the power of the evil, when's that going to happen? Ultimately, it's going to happen when Mashiach comes. Until then, we go up and down, good winds, bad winds, good winds, bad winds. But when Mashiach finally comes, then you're not going to find any more sinners because people will do tshuva. Everyone will do tshuva. And the Malbim says also that we're asking Hashem not to send angels. We're asking Hashem to do everything himself. That we see that it's the Yad Hashem. We don't want to have okay, it's nice to see that they say that the United States has all their airplanes here. I don't know, this in the southern Negev, there's a big giant Air Force base, Israeli Air Force base. And I think they said 12 of the strongest planes that are on the planet that nobody has but America, they're parked in the south here. I'm not so comfortable with that, I must tell you, because it's like Iran. They sent out a meme. Is that how it's called? They make out jokes. So they say that Israel is the 51st state of America, of the United States of America. I'm not so comfortable that the Americans are here, because what if, you never know. You never know. So anyway, we don't want, the Malbim says, we want Hashem to do this. We want Hashem to save us without intermediaries. So when that happened? That happened during the war with that Chizkiyahu HaMelech. When Chizkiyahu HaMelech was the king, and the Yerushalayim HaKadosh was surrounded by 150,000, something like that, an enormous amount of soldiers, of the Babylonian soldiers. And there was no way that the Jews could defend themselves and could win such a battle. So what did Hashem do? Very simple. They all went to sleep that night, and no one woke up. I'm talking about the Goyim. The Goyim didn't wake up. And Chizkiyahu HaMelech went to sleep also. And he wakes up in the morning and he sees. They sent out spies. I forgot the number. 150,000 troops of the Goyim, of the enemy, just dropped dead. Sometimes Hashem makes them run away, without even fighting. So the Malbim says, because we're addressing Hashem directly, and we're saying, Hashem, you see and you do, and we want it to be. We don't want it to be that we could say, wow, thank you, the United States of America helped Israel. Okay, it's nice that the United States of America is going to help Israel. That's nice. But a bigger nice would be if Hashem would make such a nice that we would see literally it's the Yad Hashem. Then everyone would do tshuva. That's why, by the rabbi, the Yanuka, every day people are coming and saying the miracles that he does for them. People who are blind and who came to him and he gave them blessings, and all of a sudden they can see. People who were lo aleinu, bad news in terms of health, they came to him, they got a bracha from him, and they're healed. And by the way, if you want to do that, come. He says anybody who is a big schlep, I will not disagree with that. It's a big schlep to go to Rishon LeZion and to wait around. But if you're, you're determined, and then you can get a bracha. Anybody can come. No, you don't have to wait to Kabbalah Kahal. There's no more Kabbalah Kahal anyway now, because the Iriyav Rishon outlawed that. But people come every single day, and he's patient, and he stays, and he waits, and he talks to people. You just have to have perseverance. You have to have patience. But he says, why do these miracles happen? Because he says everybody has to admit that there's a God in the world, because all the doctors are seeing his miracles and saying it's impossible. And he says, tell them it's from Hashem. It's not me. It's praying to Hashem. He doesn't see women, but if you can send a man, or you can send a petek. If you come, first of all, he blesses all the women every single day when you come for davening in the morning. At the end of davening, if you wait around long enough, he comes to the women's section. There's a mechisa, and he's on the other side of the mechisa, and he blesses all the women. He says nashim tzidkaniyot, and he blesses everyone. He doesn't talk to you individually. He blesses everyone, and then he gives out prizes. What do I mean? They printed out all this tefillot he hands out tefillot. Sometimes he gives candy to people. The gabbai gives them. Sometimes, and then if you have a question, you give a note, and he reads it, and he sends back an answer. That's all. You could. Everything is possible. He doesn't sit one-on-one, of course not. But women could come, and you have to just anyway. But he keeps saying, why do miracles happen? Only to focus us on God. That it shouldn't be the doctors, it shouldn't be the lawyers, it shouldn't be the politicians. It should be that we see that Hashem intervened directly and made a miracle. And the point of miracles is to worship God. The point of miracles is to get back to God, and not to think this rabbi is a tzaddik and that rabbi is a tzaddik and this one has power. No. Moshe Rabbeinu said about himself and Aaron, and all true tzaddikim say this, Nachnu ma, we're nothing. What are we? We're nothing. Everything is Hashem. A true tzaddik does not make you enslaved to him. A true tzaddik doesn't want anything from you. He wants you just to do tshuva. He wants you just to daven, just to pray, just to connect your relationships with Hashem, to strengthen your relationship, to clean out your soul. That's a true tzaddik. He doesn't want fans and followers. Sometimes I see my students send me, they get in Mazel Tov, they have 16,000 followers. Okay, but if you make it about yourself, that's not what it's all about. It's about Hashem. And some of my students say, yeah, but everything on my whatever their followers are on is about Hashem. Okay, then don't tell me you have 16,000 followers. Say you have 16,000 people that just saw the right Torah about Hashem. Not about us. We can't make it about us. So therefore, David Amel says, Shvor Zro Rasha Vara. Okay, so now break the power of the evil nations. Now there's two ways to read this. Vara, and the evil person, look for his evil, you won't find it. Why? Because they're going to all do tshuva. All human beings, when Mashiach comes, are going to do tshuva. And we're going to all serve the creator of the world. And every one of us is going to have a big job, because people are going to ask you, see, here in Israel, okay, I live in a religious neighborhood. And most Jews here in Israel have access to Torah sources. But you guys in the UK, and you guys in America, and you guys in Australia, and South Africa, we have 4 continents here. You're all in the share today. You are going to have work to do, because your neighbor's going to, knock on your door and say, what do I do? Teach me about God. Tell me what I should do. And you're going to have to tell them whatever you know. That's going to be the job of the Jews, is to help people to come to God. The first thing you're going to say to them is, God is the creator. There's nothing but God. There's no other power but God. You're going to teach them the 10 commandments. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, God is the creator. And he's the involved, and he took us out of Egypt, meaning he's involved in our daily life. You have to tell all your neighbors this. Don't have any other idols. Don't worship people. Don't worship governments. Don't worship money. Don't think that anything can save you. It's all God. And then all the morality. Don't swear in vain. Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't cheat. Don't commit adultery. Don't kill. Don't hurt people. Respect your family. Respect your parents. Keep the Shabbos. And the Goyim going to say to you, how do we keep Shabbos? And you're going to have to call your rabbi and say, how do Goyim keep Shabbos? And they're going to learn. They can keep Shabbos. They have to just do one melacha. They have to do one melacha. Or they'll be your Shabbos guy. And that will be their biggest privilege. We have a Shabbos guy down the block, 2 buildings down from me. And did I tell you the story? A few Shabbos ago, I happened to be home for Shabbos, and it was a very rainy. There was crazy storms, and the the rain, something touched something, and the lights went out. Only in my house. It wasn't the building. It was just my house. The lights went out. And I didn't know what to do because it was very cold and the plaza, and I had my family here. And so I went to one of the neighbors in my building who knows everything. And he went in the middle of the rain. He went down 2 buildings down to find, and climbed up 5 flights of steps to find there's an Oveda Zar there. There's a woman who takes care of a non-Jewish woman who takes care of an elderly woman. And she came to my house and she knew right away. Shabbos and Canada, and she knew I can't tell her. I just had to show her what was going on. And she was so happy. She was just so happy. Of course, then you have to reward her after Shabbos. You have to give her some money. Then it's like she worked for you. Okay, but when Mashiach comes, you're going to try to find evil. You're not going to find it. It's not going to exist. Hashem Melech Olam Va'ed, because then Hashem will be the king forever. Now Hashem is always the king, but the Malbim gives a very nice mashal. He says, let's say you have a kingdom and everybody's bad in the kingdom, and everybody's rebelling against the king. The king's not going to kill out every one of his citizens, because if he kills out every one of his citizens, he doesn't have a kingdom. He's going to have to do something to try to figure out how to save his kingship, but he's not going to kill everybody. He's not going to be alone, because a king without a nation isn't a king. But Hashem is different. Hashem was the king before we were created. Hashem is going to be the king after everything is finished, however that looks. Our neshamas will live forever. But when the physicality of this world shifts and changes, and we enter into Olam Haba, whenever that's going to be and however that's going to be, Hashem is still going to be the king. So Hashem Melech Olam Va'ed, that's what the Malbim says. Hashem is king forever. Avdu Goyim Eretz. So even when all the nations of the world have perished. Now, that doesn't mean us. It means the nations of the world that have been anti-God and have been rebelling against God and have been saying they don't want God. And Hashem is going to get rid of them. And he'll still be the king. Why? Because we're going to still be here. And even after it's all over, we say in Adon Olam, when everything is finished, whatever that means, I don't know how to explain whatever that means. Whatever that means, Hashem is still going to be the king. Okay, let's finish up the parak. Yeah, we still have time. Tavat Anavim Shamata Hashem. Remember, we're talking about that these prakim, the word Anav and Ani, Ayin Nun Vav, Anavim, humble people, and Aniyim, poor people. Sometimes it's written Aniyim, poor people, and you read it Anavim, and you read it humble people. And sometimes vice versa. We spoke about this last week, that there's 2 ways to become humble. There's a sad way, then there's the happy way. The sad way to become humble is if a person, God forbid, is poor. A person who's poor and needy and can't sustain themselves and can't take care of themselves, they become humble because of their circumstances. That's the sad way to become humble. But the happy way to become humble is to meditate and contemplate all the time how great Hashem is and how nothing you are, how nothing I am. Compared to Hashem, we're nothing. And to go into absolute humility vis-a-vis God. And then, towards other people, how do you go to humility towards other people? We learned Moshe Rabbeinu taught us. Our teacher Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu taught us how to go to humility, how to be humble in front of people. How? He said, it's true that I have this incredible soul, and because of the soul that I have that God created, I talk to God and I can hear God and see God, so to speak. But if you had my soul, maybe you would do better than me. And if I had your soul, maybe I would do worse than you. So my soul has been a gift. I didn't do it. Hashem gifted me my soul. I didn't create my soul. I did not create my soul. God created my soul. And therefore, towards God, I have to be eternally grateful and humble. And towards you, I also have to be humble by thinking, if you had my soul, my circumstances, my family my whatever, maybe you would have done better than me. I don't know. In parallel worlds, I don't know. And not just that, but in the bigness of my soul, says Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem has big expectations of me. And maybe, in the grading system, as big as my soul is, I don't know what my mark is, my grade is. Whereas your soul is smaller, it's true, but maybe your grade is bigger than mine. So that's the Anav, that's the person who's humble. Tavat Anavim Shamata Hashem. Now listen to this. David Mel says, you've heard the ta'ava, the taiva, the desire of the humble person. What's the desire of the humble person? Is the desire of the humble person food, money, what? No. The desire of a humble person is that evil should be destroyed. That's what the Malbim says. And since I already asked you that evil should be destroyed, that's what a humble person wants. Tavat Anavim Shamata Hashem. And you heard the deepest desire of a humble person. And the deepest desire, the truth is, the deepest desire of a humble person is the pasuk before, Hashem Melech Olam Vaed, that God should be the king. A truly humble person who's not about themselves, they're thinking about Hashem. Like the Rav Yanuka says, he says, we were created to serve God, not vice versa. God doesn't owe us anything. He created us and he gave us the opportunity to serve him. It's like if you're an intern in the White House, or if you're an intern in the Buckingham Palace, Lahavdil Intern Avdalos, where God gave us the ability to serve him. It's a big privilege. Tehillim Bam Takshiv Oznecha. We're going to learn this pasuk according to Chassidus. Tehillim Bam, you prepare their hearts, and then Takshiv Oznecha, and then you listen to your ears listen to their prayers. So listen to this. The Baal Shem HaKadosh used to say, whenever you get inspiration to daven, and you have a good davening, where did that inspiration come from? It came from God. God woke you up. He woke up our heart. He gave us inspiration. We prayed. So instead of God saying, hi, hello, by the way, that was me inspiring you, he doesn't. He pays attention to our prayers as if we originated our prayers. He's the one who inspired us, whether it's through a shir, whether it's through a feeling that you have, whether you see something, whether you have a memory, whatever it is. All of a sudden you wake up in the morning. Does anybody know when you wake up in the morning, you feel like, okay, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna daven, I'm gonna be good today, I'm gonna help people. Where did that come from? It can come from so many different ways, so many different things that Hashem does. The Hashem adds to your soul. We talked about this a few weeks ago about how Hashem does ibur neshama. He makes you pregnant with another person's soul, meaning you did a good deed yesterday, and the same good deed that you did was the kind of good deed that Sari Yemenu used to do all the time. And so therefore the soul of Sari Yemenu comes and gives you a boost. It attaches itself to you. That's called an ibur neshama, and a temporary placement of a soul, attaching another soul to your soul in a good way. So you woke up, you're in a great mood, and you have a great day. You do everything that you're supposed to do in the most loving and kind and holy way. And yet Hashem is takshiv oznecha, and Hashem pays attention to you as if you're doing it on your own. Hashem inspires you and gives you the right circumstances, and then looks and says, wow, look at you. It's like when you let your kids win a game of chess, right? Did you ever have this with I taught my son chess. I taught my grandchildren chess. And I used to let them win me. Now one of my grandsons is really good in chess, and he can win me in a second. But I taught him how old was he? 10. And then I let him win. You let your kids win every once in a while. And, I don't know if they catch on that you let them win. But whatever it is, we do that to encourage them. Hashem lets us win. He inspires us, and then he lets us win as if it's our energy. Lishpot yatom vadach. So therefore, Hashem, I'm asking you, Remember what I said before? What's the type, what's the desire of a humble person? And we said it's the pasuk before and it's the pasuk after. The pasuk before is God should be the king. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's going to be amazingly wonderful. And the second ta'ava, the desire of the poor person, of the humble person, is lishpot yatom vadach, that you should do justice to all the unfortunate people, the orphans and the poor people. And by the way, again, the Malbim says that we are considered orphans, the Jewish people, because in the absence of a Beis HaMikdash, of an operational Beis HaMikdash, and in the absence of Mashiach so far, we're leaderless. We don't have one leader that everyone agrees upon. So it's like an orphan. We don't have our Abba. So do justice to us, to the Jewish people who are poor and orphaned and depressed and oppressed. So that they won't be la'arots. La'arots means to frighten or to give honor to. That the bad people should no longer give honor and frighten the good people. If you judge the poor people and the oppressed people, and you do justice to them, whenever people say Hashem should, Hashem should give you what you deserve, they say it in a nice way, but we don't ever want what we deserve at all. We want Hashem to give us rachamim and mercy. We don't want mishpat. Mishpat's a hard thing. Mishpat means judgment, justice. The best way, Rabbi Kessin, you should be well. Rabbi Kessin's new book on Lashon Hara, he says the best way for you to be able to survive judgment and justice in the heavenly court is by giving other people the benefit of the doubt and by being mevater, not being so particular, and by letting go, letting people get away with things in your life, and not being so picky about little things, and judging people favorably, because that's how they're going to judge us in Shemaim, exactly how we judge others. And if your nature is to be a judgmental person, then ask Hashem every single day, please help me not to be judgmental, and please help and please accept my prayer that any judgments I make today, mivatel it. I want you to nullify it. Every single morning we say for the Sfardim, you have it in your siddur. It's called Moda'ah v'gilui dat. Moda'ah means a statement, and a gilui dat means I am. It's also a statement. I'm revealing my desire. I'm opening up and telling everyone my desire, but it's to Hashem. And what is the Moda'ah v'gilui dat? What is it that I'm stating? I'm stating the basic teachings of Judaism, what I believe in, but I'm also stating that if I think badly of anybody, if I judge anyone negatively, if I have stupid thoughts, if I have unhealthy thoughts, whatever, I am absolutely nullifying it. Every day you do this. I'm nullifying it like I'm nullifying chametz on Pesach. I remember we learned this last year. Maybe we should do it again. Maybe we should do it once a year. We should learn this tefillah. I'm nullifying, I'm taking away all power from any judgment that I make against another person. So if you do make a judgment, and that means that there's a judgment against you, chas v'shalom, then ask Hashem. Say, Hashem, my nature was to be judgmental. I don't like that nature. It's hard for me. I'm a human being. I'm perceptive. I see things. I have discernment. And it's in a good way, but it also could be in a bad way. So anytime I judge anybody, I want you to nullify that judgment, abolish it, make it as if it's not mine anymore. Zelo shali. And that way we can survive judgments, because we are not judging anyone, and we're on the other hand we're judging ourselves. And we all know the law of double jeopardy in Shemaim is that if you judge yourself, then in Shemaim they do not judge you. So every day during his this. That's why we say Hashem Bagadna. Why do we say that? Because I have to say to you, Hashem, I messed up. I'm not hiding it. The Rishaim, the evil people, they try to excuse themselves and rationalize and and lie. You can't lie to God. So when you say to Hashem, I have this and this Yetzer Hara, I have this and this, and everybody fill in the blank of whatever it is that you have struggling with. And I want you to help me. And the tzaddikim say, how do you get rid of that Yetzer Hara? By the way, you get rid of it by learning the laws. Let's say you have a big Yetzer Hara, it's a gossip. You love to talk, and you like to talk about people. So you have to learn the laws of Lashon Hara every day. We learn them. I told you get it mailed to your inbox every day. You open up, make sure this is what I do. And I have so many email addresses. One of my email addresses, the one that's all the things from the bank and stuff like that, I have my Shmiras HaLashon comes to that email. And before I open up any other emails, B'li Neder, I learn the Halach and Lashon Hara, Shmiras HaLashon. That's how I make sure, because I have to read all my emails. But I made myself a B'li Neder. I made myself like a thought in my head that I would like to, before I read any emails, let's learn the Shmiras HaLashon. And they're very good. Every morning it's in my inbox. You can do that with WhatsApp. Also, you can get Shmiras HaLashon on WhatsApp. So we have to learn Shmiras HaLashon. If you have a hard time with jealousy, then learn Orchos Tzadikim Shar Hakina. If you have a hard time, look at Orchos Tzadikim, the book called Orchos Tzadikim. It's translated into English, Pathways of the righteous, I guess. And he has every bad midah there. Everything that you need help with, he has a chapter on. So learn that. If you're having a hard time keeping Shabbos, learn the laws of Shabbos. If you have a hard time remembering to make brachos, before you eat, before you drink, then learn the laws of brachos. All right, my sweet friends, I can't believe it. We did 10 prakim straight in a row. Now next week is Thursday. It's the day after Purim by us in Yerushalayim. So I guess we'll have a share next week, Thursday. Let's see what happens by Thursday. Who knows? Hashem, you know. And you know that we want the Geula. We don't want any of this other stuff. We just want the Beis HaMikdash. We want your Malchus. You should be the king. We want David HaMelech's kingship should be in the world. We want to do everything right. We don't want to have any more Yetzer Haras. It's true that without the Yetzer Hara, we don't have credit in the mitzvot that we do. But we're willing to give up that, just to bring the Geula for the whole world. It's for the Geula for Hashem. I always wonder why we still get credit for that. For what? I don't get what you're saying, Elaine. Credit for what? Shabbos Sharon, thank you. Hashem should keep us all safe. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just don't get nervous. I get excited whenever I hear a siren. I can think, okay, let's look out and see what's going to be. I don't get nervous. It gets a little tedious, but we'll see. We'll see what Hashem has in mind, right? Hi, Jenny. It's good to see you. Hi, Joanne.
It's just we have a daily learning every day. We've been doing this since just a few people, and we've been doing it since COVID. So now you've just put Dalia onto getting me to do Orchos Tzadikim. So we will be there, and I can just say that this last hour for me has been, I will get there. And you just give me 2 minutes, I will actually get there. But all I can tell you is that I have to just give all the benefit of the doubts of all the different things that are going on in all the different circles that all came into my room today. But I just want to say that my daughter just messaged and she said they're looking for a house. And she Googled a good Tehillim to look for a house. And it came up as 7, Botach B'Hashem. And I just say, you know what, HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs his house, but I'm much happier if he just hurries up and brings his house, and then we can all go home.
Listen, I want to tell you, if she needs a school for a house, this is Nasui Batzuk, she has to say Tikkun Chatzot. If you think about
that's what you told me.
Right, Tikkun Chatzot, let her say it at the convenient time for her, or she and her husband should say. And that right away, you think about the basic, because Because 127 Kuf Chav Zayin is all about the building of the Beis Hamikdash. That's why I was surprised that it's not one of these like because we think about ourselves more than the Beis Hamikdash. But it's right after 126. Yeah. 126 is about Mashiach coming, and then 127 is the Beis Hamikdash. Anyway, hi Danya, hi Jenny, hi Rebbe Zadav, hi Pauline, hi Roslyn, hi Yudibaya, hi Andy Tanzer. Thank you, Andy Tanzer, for bringing what you brought. Hi Karen, it's good to see you, Karen. Hi Shalemi, thank you for the nice remark that you made. Hi Rebecca Schenken. 1 second, don't go off. I can't see who. Hi Sarla. 1 second. No. Okay, who didn't I say hello to? Did I say hello to everybody? Hi Naomi.
Geraldine.
Hi Geraldine. Where's Geraldine? There's Geraldine. Geraldine's always the first one on the shiur, before you sometimes even.
I know.
And let's daven for everybody.
So inspirational. You're so inspirational. Thank you.
Hashem, it's all Hashem. Let's daven for everybody. Let's daven for everybody that everybody should have the right influences in their life. All the people over there. Your hearts are here. You should all have the right influences, the right situations. You shouldn't have to be worrying about anything. You should be all able to come here and to live here, to settle here, and Hashem should let the tzaddikim run this country. That would be so ideal. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. We already have all these big buildings. We already have all these nice big buildings. They're filled with stupidities. They're filled with bureaucracy and stuff like that. There's enough room to make in this country, room for everybody to live nicely. There's already highways. They already figured out, all the people figured out already how to make the infrastructure here. So now the tzaddikim can run the show. And that would be fun. That would be nice. That would be wonderful. Somebody sent around such a sad thing, but just to talk about it for a second, and daven on Purim, right? So Purim is a big day of davening. Please make sure that you utilize the day of Purim for prayer, for learning Torah. Don't be swamped up in the silliness. Okay, if you have kids at home and they want to have fun and they want to run around with their friends in their costumes and giving mishloach manot, that's great. You want to make Judaism happy for them, but also sit down with your kids and daven with them and say, everybody go around in a circle. Everybody ask Hashem what you want. Ask Hashem to go around and around. What do you want? What do you want? Because on Purim, when you ask Hashem, He says yes, and He gives it to us. When He gives it to us and how He gives it to us is a different story, but He says yes to everything. How come it looks so nice where you are, Shulamit? Where are you? My house is still cloudy.
I'm in Yaffa. I have 2 weeks between Yerushalayim and the north, so I decided to come for a bit of sunshine to Yaffa.
So
it's beautiful.
It's nice weather there? Good.
Beautiful.
Okay. Here it's still chilly, a little bit chilly.
And beautiful Shabbos, a beautiful Purim for everybody.
Good Shabbos.
Lovely to see
Good Shabbos, good Purim to everybody.
Thank you so much for a beautiful share. Thank you again.
You're so welcome.
Rabbit Silva, you said about seeing the Anuka.